Hi, I'm Anna Denton-Jones, and in today's session I want to talk about the definition of bullying. Now that's a little bit of an odd thing to say, perhaps, because there isn't actually one specific definition of bullying, because we don't have the Bullying Act or legislation that specifically outlaws bullying at work. What we're left with, if we're trying to bring some kind of complaint about it, is shoehorning an argument about bullying into other areas of law that already exist. So it might be health and safety legislation, it might be the duty of care that an employer has to an employee, it might be arguing there's been a breach of the contract of employment, it might be arguing that the legislation that was designed to prevent stalking, that refers to a course of conduct, is the way that somebody goes. So often we are using other areas of existing law when we're talking about bullying. But most organisations will have a policy, an anti-harassment and bullying policy, or a dignity at work policy that will set out what they regard as bullying in the workplace. If they don't, quite often, if we're asked to investigate a case of bullying, then what we'll look at is the ACAS definition of bullying. And I'll have to read this to you because it is quite lengthy. So they define bullying as offensive, intimidating, malicious or insulting behaviour, an abuse or misuse of power through means that undermine, humiliate, denigrate or injure the recipient. So sometimes you can spot a mile off if somebody's raised a grievance where they've been looking at the ACAS definition, because they may pepper their complaint with those words. But what are we really talking about? It's interesting when you look at some of the case law that the judges are saying that this isn't just going to be about somebody saying, I don't like the way in which I'm being treated in work. It's actually quite a high standard to show bullying. It's not just unpleasantness or not liking the way in which you're being treated. You actually have to be able to show some examples of some behaviours towards you that anybody objective looking into the situation would say, yes, that is conduct that is unacceptable in the workplace. So that's what a judge would be looking for. They're looking for something that would be genuinely offensive, that we would all agree is not on when it comes to workplace behaviour. And I think that's one of the big challenges for somebody who is trying to bring a complaint, is that because the behaviours that we can quite often be talking about can be quite insidious, it can be quite difficult to pinpoint. Often it is about the way that somebody's making you feel and you can't quite articulate why they're making you feel that way. It can be quite difficult to pin down what somebody has done in terms that you can explain to a third party. So it is always a challenge for an individual to be able to articulate examples sufficiently that somebody can then investigate and agree that there is evidence that this has gone on. If you have any questions about bullying, or indeed interested in providing bullying and harassment training to staff, then please do contact me, adenton@refreshinglawltd.co.uk. Thank you very much.